All right, the time is finally upon us. I've got a lot of requests to see Chris Hansen's newest program called Have a Seat with Chris Hansen. I believe he started this in 2020, and we're going to be checking in Michigan for his first ever sting operation with this new crew. I'm freaking excited. Make sure that you like this video if you enjoy my TCAP reactions, as it helps out the channel a ton, and consider subscribing if you haven't already, as well as sharing the video. Without any further ado, though, let's enjoy some freaking HD Chris Hansen content. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. I'm so used to the Minecraft painting pixel density of these older videos, so this is going to be a treat. But as always, make sure you watch to the very end, because I'm sure it's going to get crazy. Without any further ado, let's get right on into it, shall we?
What? Hurry up! Come on! You would just get in here?
Okay, so this is quite insane. They're definitely doing it differently than they did on TCAP. The police are stepping in much earlier, and maybe that's because these guys are a lot more ballsy nowadays, and they run. You know, cars in general are a lot faster. Technology can allow you to try to escape law enforcement, I guess, a little bit longer than you previously could. So maybe that's what's going on here. But we have about 6 cops waiting literally behind the door and the window of this motel room as the decoy is wrapped up in a blanket, pretty much egging this guy on to come into the motel room, as he's gotten most of the way here, but he's probably a little bit sketched out by the fact that the decoy is just standing there, and they're practically begging bro to step inside. So I don't know how he doesn't realize this is a sting, but he's gonna enter this motel room anyways, and he's gonna wish he didn't.
Come here, buddy. Come here. Get in here. Get in. What I do? Lay down. Lay down. Nice and easy.
Jeez. So yeah, they pretty much rip him from the outside. I mean, this is well within their rights, I feel, because the dude was definitely lurking outside the room, but I think he might have caught a whiff of what was going on right at the end here, and they decided, screw it. You know what? We got to just grab this dude. They've got enough evidence from the chat logs alone, and him showing up to this door that, you know, was enough to throw him in the slammer, I'm sure. But now they're literally handcuffing the guy, and he's about to sit in front of Chris Hansen while handcuffed, which is insane. Another wild change compared to the older TCAP series, and I gotta say, I like this quite a bit. It shows the guys that this is serious. A lot of them think that they can get out of it in the older interviews, and he's gonna know from the get-go that he's probably going to jail, so maybe that makes him more honest. Let's see.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. What's happening tonight?
Being stupid.
Oh my god. So we see gray-haired Chris Hansen here, looking absolutely majestic, like the silver fox that he always has been. Sure, he's a little bit older, but man, this is insane. He's just popping out of the hotel room bathroom. Must have been hiding in there with the rest of the production crew that entire time. That has to be freaking hot in there. So I'm surprised he's not sweating a little bit more, but he comes out, immediately starts questioning the guy, and the guy's first excuse is that he was just doing something stupid, which is, it's true, but it's not quite the full honesty we need. So I'm interested to see if this guy's gonna just bear it all for Chris Hansen here, or if he's gonna be a little bit more reserved and maybe, like, you know, want to speak to a lawyer or something.
What do you mean by being stupid?
Lonely and made a bad decision.
Lonely and a
Should have drove by and went to Burger King, went home with my son.
Oh, geez. So this dude instantly starts off by mentioning his son. He says that his son is home alone, was expecting him to just go out and get dinner for them. He was getting some Burger King, which already should be seen as almost, you know, neglecting that kid. I mean, Jesus, have you guys tried a Whopper in the year of 2023? I'm telling you, Burger King has to be the most overrated fast food joint in America. Like, it's insane. But I'm sorry, Burger King doesn't need to be catching strays over here. I need to stop going on my fat boy fast food rants. What matters here is this creep who is hitting all the right notes. He's hitting the classics. He's lonely, he was scared, and he's just dumb. And you know, that trifecta allows you to break the law with impunity, apparently, in these guys' eyes, because it's seen as the perfect excuse. And I think this dude's really gonna try to run with that.
What's your name?
Tom.
Tom, what's your last name?
Bates.
Bates. And how old are you, Tom?
At 45.
45.
So Tom is 45 years old, and the decoy he was supposed to meet is literally a third of that. So, yeah, not a good look. Not that the younger creeps are any better off. Look, a creep is a creep, right? But I just love how defeated this guy already looks in this conversation with Chris Hansen. You could tell he just is probably going to be honest because he realizes there's no way getting out of this. By now, there is no doubt in my mind he knows who Chris Hansen is. I'm sure he's a little bit shocked, as he probably thought, wait, holy crap, I just had the craziest realization. This is the first episode of Chris Hansen's new program. Granted, he did some stuff in the, 20-teens with the Hansen versus Predator thing, but in this guy's mind, he must have been thinking he was in the clear, because he's like, all right, I haven't seen Chris Hansen do his show in like half a decade. I gotta be good. And then he goes into this motel room, not only gets arrested, but freaking Chris Hansen himself walks out of the bathroom. Imagine the thoughts running through this guy's mind. He's got to be thinking, man, I'm the most unlucky bastard of all time. And I think that might actually be true. Like, that is freaking amazing to think about.
But I wasn't enjoying it.
You weren't going to do anything with it?
No.
Then why did you come here, Tom?
I was going to tell her, I was going to ask her, I was kind of getting to the point where...
All right, so dude's just stuttering trying to get through this answer, but I love that he's also hitting the other note of, I wasn't gonna do anything. That's why you came here, right? Because people just tend to go to random motel rooms to hang out with people they've never met platonically all the time. It's a totally normal occurrence, so if anything, Chris Hansen should buy this excuse, and also maybe the cops can come around and unhook these handcuffs, because clearly this is a guy who was not planning on doing anything. He was just over here to chill.
I mean, I was lonely. I wasn't gonna do anything.
You weren't going to do anything. You're just going to come over here and read her a bedtime story?
No.
Oh, dude, this guy, he can't even formulate a good thought to bring back to Chris Hansen. He doesn't know what he wants to say. I think his story is shifting rapidly in his brain as he's trying to figure out what is the best thing to say to keep him from going into the slammer. I don't think anything's going to prevent him from that at this point, though, so you might as well be honest. You know what I mean? Like, quit with this beating around the bush crap. Let's just tell Chris Hansen the truth, and you might be better off.
I was actually on my way to Burger King to get my...
Burger King.
To get my son.
To get your son. How old is your son?
He's 14. He's
14.
home alone. I was going to stop and get him for dinner and just stop in here and...
And geez, obviously, I feel terrible for this kid. Might not even be an age to understand what's going on when his dad doesn't come back home and someone comes to get him and explain the situation. But imagine that. You are literally just sitting there home alone, waiting on your dinner, and meanwhile, your parent, who is supposed to be out getting you this crappy, Whopper meal from Burger King, actually looking at this guy, it's probably not a Whopper, he's probably going for those 2 for $5, 10-pack of chicken nuggets that are filled with some mystery substance. Again, I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole of hating on Burger King, but you get my sentiment on it. This kid is just sitting there not knowing the type of monstrous acts that his father is possibly trying to enact while he's away. It's just sickening to me. Like, this is insane.
Well, come on, Tom. I've seen the transcripts, the chat.
Yeah, I was not.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. I know it looks bad, but...
Why would I possibly... Looks bad. It's very specific.
I know it looks bad, man, but you gotta take my word for it. Even though you've done this for now, I don't know, like 2 decades, and you've heard the exact same excuses I'm giving you literally over 1,000 times, and every single time it has proven to be incorrect when these guys say they weren't gonna do anything, that it was all just chat, it was all just roleplay, whatever it might be, whatever the excuse might be coming out of their stupid little mouths, it's never actually factual. This guy obviously had some serious plans here, and I'm sure if they search his car or his person, they're gonna find some balloons and other materials that indicate he was actually planning on doing something.
What am I to make of this?
It was just flirtation.
Why I should believe you?
Because I've never done it before.
You've never done it before.
Oh, okay, it was just flirtation, which again, for him is somehow lesser than actually wanting to commit this act. No, you should not be flirting with anybody that is a third of your age like that, bro. It's just not appropriate. So even the flirtation excuse should land you in the slammer for some amount of time. I guess the dude wants to choose the path of the, going with the lesser of 2 evils here. But still, no matter which way you shine the light on this, you don't look good. Yet he claims it's all fantasy and was just flirtation, and apparently this guy gets no action in his real life with people his own age to where he has to resort to this, which is absolutely just despicable.
So tonight, out of all the nights in your 45 years, you decide to get online, leaving your 14-year-old son at home, and you pop in here, all wound up, ready to go.
For real though, this dude claims it's his first time. Granted, this might be the first time he's actually being caught for this, but yeah, we have no doubt in our minds that across his 45-year-old lifespan of apparent loneliness, I'm sure he's been on a chat room with somebody of this age multiple times, all right? That's easy for me to say.
Why are you here? Why didn't you just go to Burger King, get your son a Whopper, and head home? Now you're here telling me a Whopper of a story. You think it's funny?
I do not.
That is a freaking power play by Chris, dude. I love when he does this little combo where he cracks a joke. He makes a little Whopper joke because this dude keeps bringing up Burger King and how he's gonna get his son food. And then when they laugh at his little jokes, he's like, do you think this is funny? Is this a laughing matter to you? Like, what a way to twist it. I love it. It's a little bit dirty from Chris, but you know what? I don't care. We can use all the tricks in the book on these guys. They don't deserve any sort of nice interaction here. If anything, Chris is a lot lighter on these guys than a lot of us would be if we were face to face with a monster like this. So I'm surprised Chris is still a pro and can hold his composure here and still has all the chops of his younger days. It's beautiful to see.
What do you do for a living, Tom?
I do heating and air conditioning for the state of Michigan.
Heating and air conditioning.
I work for downtown.
You work for the state?
Yes.
So this dude reveals that he actually works for the state of Michigan himself. He is a government employee, which is insane. That's one of those jobs where, no doubt in my mind, as soon as this comes out and he even gets processed for this, he's losing his job and his career, which I'm sure was very well paying. You know, those HVAC guys, they make a lot of money. There's a reason Troy from Community almost got, you know, pulled into their cult. That's like life-changing amount of money as a contractor, or I guess general practitioner, whatever they're called. Tradesman, that's the word I was looking for. But, you know, he's just throwing that away because, again, he's a monster and can't not give in to these urges of his, to where he can't even go to Burger King for his kid's dinner without making a detour to be a creepy little weirdo.
Do you have to pass background checks for that work?
Yes, I do. I was in the governor's residence when I was in a different zone.
So you used to go in the governor's residence?
Yes.
Bro literally was in charge of the AC and the other general, like, cooling and heating aspects of the actual governor of Michigan's home. You're telling me this dude was not making bank before? Like, what an actual moron. How are you even gonna find another job in your field after this is done? Even if you do serve your short amount of time that wasn't given enough to you, what else are you gonna do with your life, bro? It's just insane to see. He has failed this kid of his.
I didn't have money to pay her.
But here's the problem, Tom. If you weren't going to do anything, why even mess with it in the first place? Why
To me,
even
it was
pop
just
in?
flirtation.
And then the dude goes on this long spiel that he was gonna pay the decoy, and he didn't even have money for that. So he was also just gonna scam this woman otherwise. Like, everything about this is so slimy and disgusting. He's out of excuses. This guy is absolutely just falling flat on his face in this interview, and it's because he has no excuse for what he's doing, and he knows it deep down.
Tom, there's something else you need to know. I'm Chris Hansen, and I'm doing a story on adults trying to meet.
Oh my god, so they got the updated reveal here. The people come out of the bathroom with the massive key light above the camera, just shining on this dude, making their presence known as always. I absolutely love it. Sadly, I don't see a boom mic guy, you know, waving it in his face, but I'm sure they've just improved mic technology, so maybe they don't need it anymore. But yes, the reveal finally happened. Chris Hansen asks him one final time what should happen to you, which is the most brutal question to ask, because obviously, if people were serious and they weren't doing this, then they should see this as a punishable offense that should be punishable to the highest degree. But if they answer that way, then they're pretty much signing themselves up for that treatment. And then if they answer too lightly, it just shows that they are actually guilty. So there really is no right way to answer that. Thankfully, this dude kind of just continues to shut up, and they haul him away.
What should happen to you? I mean, help me out here. I don't know. No other explanation you want to give?
And with that, he gets taken out of the room where the police are waiting to take him away to the station for questioning, and he goes out like the chump that he is, unable to even answer Chris Hansen with a, valid answer here. He is just speechless, and I'm sure thinking about his son this entire time and the life and career that he threw away. So that was the first episode of Have a Seat with Chris Hansen, his new series. I absolutely love this, man. This was an insane episode. I love the new format, how it seems to be a little bit more run and gun, less of a production than TCAP was, and I want to know what your thoughts down in the comments below, so make sure you leave those there. As always, shout out to my Patreon supporters. I just made a full wife swap reaction if you want to go see that. So definitely go sign up for the Patreon for that. And as always, shout out to all of you that made it to the end of the video. Don't forget to like if you haven't already, as well as subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace out.